Welcome to the Garden Show. I'm Geri Hoerner, and today with me is Tony Lacazzi,
Morning.
a fellow Benton County Master Gardener and also a member of the Bella Vista Garden Club. And the subject today we're talking about is pollinator party, summer gardens in full swing. So, and we'll be talking about pollinator insects, what pollinates your plants, and what plants you need in your yard, in your garden. And we're hoping to put more natives in the garden. And first I want to thank our sponsors. The Bella Vista Garden Club and the Benton County Master Gardeners are our two sponsors, and we really appreciate their support and their help from time to time. And we have Master Gardeners on the program along with other experts in certain fields. But we want to thank our sponsors. And there's not a lot of gardening activities this month. Crystal Bridges has some things going on, and the Botanical Garden of the Ozarks. You can go to their websites and find what they're doing this month. But the main reason we're here is Tony's going to enlighten us about pollinators and how important they are, and the bees and the other pollinators.
More important than most people think of.
They don't realize how important
Don't
they are.
realize.
So bees are probably the most common.
One of many.
One of many.
Probably one of the most common.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then there's different types of bees.
Yes.
What are those? 40,000 or 40
Well, you
different
have,
insects.
but keep in mind that you have domestic native bees and you have imported bees from Europe and Asia. Okay, and the imported bees will favor the imported plants more than natives. The native bees will favor the native plants more than the imports.
And we've got two native bees that are in Bella Vista usually. And one is the mason bee, and this is a mason bee house. You can get your own mason bees
Right.
to be in your garden. This one is bought. Been bought by this one. Right now, this one has a little. You can't see it here, but it already has eggs in there, and the bee will put in their female eggs at the end, way inside to protect them. And then they'll put their other eggs on top. And then they seal that sometimes with a leaf. And I'll show you. The leaf cutter bee has already been here. This leaf cutter bee does takes leaves and cuts holes. So if you see this on your oak trees or whatever, you don't have to panic.
No, doesn't do any harm.
They
at all.
just take those little circles and they seal their little tubes with for their eggs. So don't panic, you're not going to lose your tree because you got a few holes in your limb. But anyway, the mason bees come in the spring, April, May, June, and then the leaf cutter bees come July, August, September. So they're a little early this month with this one. So, but those are the two main bees I think we have. And we want to encourage those.
And then our butterflies and
the
so
butterfly.
forth. A lot of people don't realize even ants are pollinators.
That's right.
Some people see ants in their garden and they panic and put down chemicals, and they don't realize that ants are pollinating also.
And wasps.
And wasp.
And what else? We got wasps.
Many.
Butterflies. Flies.
Yeah.
Flies even pollinate, don't they?
Well, we have
Little?
overall, globally, we have over 9 million species of insects.
Yeah.
And only 1% of them are harmful to our tropical plants that we're planting. That the ones that we consider pest insects. Only 1%.
Like mosquitoes.
Yeah, the other, correct. And that the other 99% are all beneficial to the ecosystem.
That's right.
Which I'd like to get into later on.
Well, you can get into that now if you want.
Get into that.
Actually talk about how important
First, I
it
want to
is.
mention that for our viewers, there's a very, very important book. If you care about this blue marble that we're floating around in space on. If you care one whit about it, you need to read this book from Bringing Home Nature from Douglas Tallamy. So having said that, just a tiny little quote from him. And he said, in a diverse ecosystem, many species perform similar tasks. So you take persimmon flowers, for example. They might be visited by these species of bumblebees, 5 species of moths, and 1 hummingbird species. But if 1 or 2 of those pollinators disappear, the plants will still be pollinated and make seeds, and the rodents that eat those seeds will still have food, as will the owls that eat the rodents. But a reduction in pollinators can still save the day. But if the ecosystem is devoid of pollinators, it could lead to the local extinction of persimmons. This would not only hurt the rodents and the owls, but it would lead to the extinction of all insects that eat only persimmon leaves. Those losses would reduce the food available for all insectivores, that include those insect specialists in their own diets. If this food reduction were large enough, insectivorous birds that breed in the area will not be able to feed their young, and they would be lost from the ecosystem. So, the question is, how many species can we lose before the ecosystem crashes? And while I'm on crashes, you see the importance on this, how everything in nature is connected. You know, I saw a figure several years, probably 20 or 30 years ago, that the average 4-door sedan in America had 25,000 parts. The average, and so I got to thinking, what is a 747 with 200 and 300 or 400 people on board? How many? It's got to be in the hundreds of thousands of parts. But if on the car or the airplane, if one piece, depending on the piece, is missing or broken or doesn't perform, it may or may not be disastrous. But if pieces keep breaking down and forming, and now the car doesn't start or the plane is headed for the ground, that's not a pretty picture. But your car you can take to the shop. The plane, when it comes in, can go to the maintenance hangar. But we can't take planet Earth and move it to another galaxy for repair work. Okay? Think about that. So you saw the example that Tallamy makes here about the seeds and the rodents and the birds. It's, you know, everything in nature is tied together. As we keep eliminating all these parts of nature, when all these pollinators are gone, guess who's next? You're looking at them. It's us.
Yeah, we have to have the pollinators.
Got to have the pollinators.
Well, you know, the bird population has diminished dramatically in the past 50, 60 years. And that was one of the things that really struck me in his first book, the Bringing Nature Home. Once you read that, you understand how important it is not to use chemicals to kill insects.
Right.
You know, that maybe that bother you a little bit.
Because you're killing more good guys than bad guys.
That's right. You're killing the good guys. So we don't want to kill the good guys. So.
No.
And the native plants really help in nature to keep those native plants alive and
University
thriving.
studies at a lot of horticultural departments around, they've taken native plants and put them right next to what they call alien plants, where they're almost touching, and they put a camera on it. And the bee visits to the natives is 3 times the alien plants pollinating. So that
It's
tells
really
you
important.
the importance of native plants right there.
Yeah. Now, Doug Tallamy has written 6 books
Yes.
since, well, he started with the Bringing Nature Home, and then he had The Living Landscape, so he'll tell you how to design your garden with
Right.
diversity and still beautiful. And then Nature's Best Home. It's a new approach to conservatism.
Right.
And then he also wrote a book for the youth, young readers edition of Nature's Best Home, and it's how you can save the world in your own yard. Well, kids would just love to be able to save the world in their own yard,
Right.
you know. So that would be a good book to give to young children. And then his latest book is How Can I
This
Help?
is the new one.
That's the newest book. I haven't gotten that yet. I borrowed this. But it lays out how you can actually help
Just
the
little
system.
things. You know, if you did just a few native plants in your landscape, he recommends doing them around, you know, if you got a formal yard and formal plants and whatever, you know, and you want it so pristine and artificial looking, he says, you know, do natives around the perimeter and the edges of your property. And then if you can convince your neighbors to do it and they convince their neighbor and you get it going on your block and in your neighborhood, you know, collectively, we now are making an impact,
Yes.
you know.
And saving the ecosystem.
We're
in that
saving the
area.
ecosystem,
Right.
and it doesn't require really any work other than that first initial planting. You know, once you've put that thing in the ground, you're basically finished.
You've done it.
You know, you don't have to prune it and deadhead it and fertilize it and water it, and you know, they've been here for hundreds of thousands of years before the first settler ever set foot in Arkansas. So the plants are going to survive just fine.
Right. And there's really some good information this is from the Game and Fish Commission, Arkansas, and it shows you all these flowers you can grow. And I didn't realize I had so many natives in my garden until I got
You
the
do.
list. And I thought I had 4 or 5, and I ended up with 15. But some of them are in the front, you know, like spiderwort is a pretty plant, and crested iris. There's some things you can put in your front yard that are native.
Yeah.
And the bees will love them,
Yes.
and you'll have more butterflies around. So, you know, just think about that. But there's so much information out there, you just have to look for it. And then there's another list from the ArkansasMonarch.org, has a list of all types of plants and requirements. But, you know, everybody's got Google now. You can Google it and find the information.
Some of the showier native plants, you know, for your garden, you said, would be purple coneflower, black-eyed Susan, blazing star, butterfly weed, especially that nice big orange one's gorgeous,
Yeah.
wild columbine, and evening primrose, just to give you a handful there. But there's many, many more, as Jerry can see.
Yeah. And even your garden phlox. You see garden phlox everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
And that's a native.
that's a native also.
Okay. Well, we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're going to just take a little break, and we'll return, and we'll talk about the other books that Tallamy wrote.
Yep.
Okay, welcome back. So now that we've talked about all these native plants that help the bees and the pollinators, you know, there's other plants that are not native, but are still good pollinator
Right.
plants, you know, for the bees to
Sure.
get pollen.
You sure?
So any of your annuals, you know, I know some of the tropical plants I put out in the summer, the hummingbirds love to get in there and you know, get the nectar out of that. So you don't have to have all natives,
No,
but you just sprinkle them in so that they're part of the ecosystem.
right.
And the other books, like I said, if you just read one of Tallamay's books, you'll understand how important the ecosystem is to us,
Right.
and how this insecticide craze has just devastated so many things. And you know it started a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
So your story about how you realized that,
Oh, my story.
your story.
Well, I was a young fella, and we had just built in our very first house, and we had two little girls, about as maybe not even as tall as this table, and they're in the backyard rolling around playing. And I go to the local box store, and I'm walking down that aisle that you need a gas mask to walk down. And I went, oh, God, this is killing. So I started turning the bottles around and seeing skulls and crossbones on the back of the labels on the bottles and boxes in that aisle and reading it. And I said, what did they do before World War II? We didn't have all this stuff, okay? And so I came to the conclusion that you don't need a bottle of poison to grow a beautiful flower and a nice ripe tomato. It's not necessary. So I went 100% non-chemical, probably 67 years ago, something like that. And I teased Dr. Howard Garrett in Dallas that I went 100% organic before him. I prefer to call it gardening the natural way. That's the term I like to use. And so I tell people I don't put anything on my plants I wouldn't put in my mouth, okay? And I don't know. I've got a little house in Bella Vista. We've had over 1,400 visitors. There must be something we're doing right. We got beautiful flowers and plants and no chemicals. It just is not necessary. Now, commercial growers that grow 1 or 2 or 3 items that are using some type of a chemical, whatever it might be, in a way, is highly, highly controlled and measured, and they're doing it strictly for mass production purposes. But how much mass production are you doing in your yard? I mean, come on. It's a place to go have fun and enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, that's kind of the story which got me going. And then years later, when I heard about this guy and I bought his book and I read it, well, that really
Just reinforced
that
everything.
just reinforced. So now, if I have any kind of an insect problem, I use beneficial insects to solve it. And I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. There's a company called Arbico out of Tucson, Arizona. And the first time I ever heard about them and used them, I had tomato plants that were covered in aphids. And that was in that very first house. So they said ladybugs eat aphids. So I ordered a container of ladybugs from Arbico. They come like in an old ice cream carton, little pint carton. And you put them on late in the evening, you wet the foliage, and you release them because they're thirsty as all get out. And they don't fly at night. I don't know if a lot of people know that or not. Yeah, ladybugs don't fly at night. So they're going to be right there. So I released them late in the, right before this, after the sun went down. The next morning I went out to my tomato plants. You could not find an aphid anywhere. The average little ladybug eats thousands of aphids a day. Okay, they're ferocious eaters. And that's what got me on using beneficial. So I have praying mantis all over everywhere, and ladybugs and lizards and frogs, and like I was just telling Jerry earlier, to control the cucumber and squash beetles and all that. I have assassin bugs in my vegetable garden. They're doing the work for me. They see an insect, they're gone, they're history. So, and I get them from Arbico. So they're doing the work, no chemicals.
But they can sting you if you irritate them.
Yeah, if you get in there and start being a little rude, you got to be careful when you're in there harvesting.
Yeah.
Because they're harvesting also.
But there's other things they sell. It's like the nematodes.
Oh yeah, on
know,
benefit,
like-
and yeah, Jerry.
Oh, I got a story about them because
Yeah,
I had.
tell them your story. What I
had
told you.
terrible problem with holes all over my backyard
Yeah,
with
from armadillos.
armadillos. And
So
everybody
Jerry was
has
telling me
armadillo
about it,
problems.
right?
So it was just horrible because we do have a lawn. We have lawns, which I know you
Sure,
don't care
yeah.
too much for, but we have lawns. And so I ordered 3 different types
Right.
and put all 3 types of the nematodes out. And this year I have not had one hole
Right.
in my grass. The
'Cause-
armadillos just don't come anymore.
Right. Well, the nematodes are in the soil, and they're eating the larvae of the grubs. And now comes the armadillo, and he's sniffing. He doesn't just dig a hole just to be digging a hole. He's digging a hole because he thinks there's food there. But if he doesn't smell food,
He goes
okay, then
away.
he doesn't dig a hole. So Jerry's problem was solved with just introducing beneficial nematodes to her lawn soil.
Right. And then I don't have any Japanese beetles anymore.
Right?
So they're just, they don't show up.
No, me either.
So.
Yeah.
But you can control the bad bugs, which are kind of bad bugs as Japanese beetles. So
Right.
anyway, that's bug control. But the pollinators are going to be protected if you follow the rules or the
Yeah.
the guidelines.
A lot of flowering plants,
You know, you can have a
more-
beautiful garden
more natives.
without chemicals.
and quit using pesticides because you're just killing beneficials.
And we haven't really seen too many butterflies lately. Have you seen very many butterflies?
Yeah, I always have
Oh,
butterflies.
yes.
Yeah.
Because even Ginny, she's got that pollinator garden back there, and we just have not seen as many butterflies this
Well, the
year.
rain all these heavy rains
Yeah,
we've
we had a
had
lot
this
of
year.
heavy
It's been an
rains,
unusual year in that regard.
Okay. Well, I think we've talked a lot about a lot of things, so hopefully we'll educate people to plant natives and protect their pollinators and go from there.
Get Doug Tallamy's book,
Absolutely.
and familiarize yourself with arbicome.
Yeah. And they're very helpful when you call them. They're very helpful.
Yeah, the people who answer the phone are professionals.
Yeah. It's not just a clerk, it's someone that knows what's going on.
Right.
Anyway, there's things to do in your garden in July, other than protecting your
Yes.
pollinators.
Right.
You got to deadhead your annuals for continued bloom. And we had a lot of rain the end of June, but I think the faucet's going to be turned off.
I think so too.
So we're going to have to turn on our faucets. And I hate that, but we'll have to use the water out of the pipes to keep the plants going.
Right.
And then you got to harvest your garlic in June or
Yeah.
June to July.
Yeah, when the tops are falling down.
Yeah, when the tops turn brown. And don't forget to plant them in October.
That's
So,
right.
The perennials, you can pinch back your perennials, and sometimes they'll rebloom. My spiderwort reblooms sometimes. And there's a couple others. If you pinch them back, and after they bloom, they'll rebloom.
Oh, yeah.
And then the lawns, they need at least an inch of
A week.
week,
Yep.
1 inch a week. And you don't want to fertilize in July, August don't put any fertilizer
Unless
down
you're
or any-
using a natural fertilizer.
Well, if you use
a
just
a
compost. or-
synthetic can burn.
Yeah, synthetic burns it. Roses, just watch for your aphids and your fungus and get the
Right.
ladybugs if you have aphids. Japanese beetles, I haven't seen very many the last couple of years.
Me either.
I think they've kind of dissipated a
Yeah.
little. I'm
I
not sure.
pretty much, I think, have removed them from my part of town anyway.
Well, I don't know what the cycle is for them, but anyway. So trees and shrubs, be sure to check your trees and shrubs for scale or bagworms or webworms
And sapsuckers.
and sapsuckers. Yeah, they put little holes in your trees, but
Yeah,
they
and
don't
they can kill a
usually-
tree.
They can kill a tree
Yeah,
if you don't.
they drill all the way around, once or twice or 3 times.
Yeah.
That's pretty much,
Yeah.
you're going to lose that tree.
Yeah.
So,
You might put like ribbons that blow in the wind.
Yeah, I just go
If they
behind
start-
them and put putty in the holes.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, they come and they drill the hole.
Yeah.
And then they come back a day or 2 or 3 later for the sap coming
I
out.
see.
So I just put putty in the hole. They come back, there's no
There's
sap.
So they go on to some other tree.
They go on to another tree.
That's a good thing too. So, if you planted anything this spring, be sure and monitor your water. Make sure they get enough water.
Right.
And vegetables, you should be harvesting your vegetables now. Get them
Right.
before
Yep.
the squirrels get them.
Oh, yeah. Invest in a rain barrel.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Rain barrels are wonderful. We should have a program on rain barrels probably
Yeah.
this coming year.
Especially for your potted plants. Mm-hmm. That's better for your potted plants
Yeah.
than chlorinated water.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you have any other questions about gardening, the Master Gardeners have a website, and I think they show that at the end, and it's filled with gardening information.
Yes.
And the next meeting for them will be July 14th. It's a little later this month, and it's from 5:30 to 6. They have social hour, and then they have their meeting and program, and that's at the United Methodist Church on 2nd Street in Bentonville. And then guests are always welcome to that.
And then our
then-
garden club website.
The Garden Club
Is
website has
full of
so
gardening
much,
information.
yeah, garden info there is just amazing.
And then on YouTube, all these videos we've been making for years.
Yeah.
I think I've done
March.
18 or 19 of them.
Yeah,
Are all on YouTube.
since March of 2010, I think
Mm-hmm.
it was. Anyway, Bella Vista Garden Club isn't going to meet till September. And then we do have that new garden club, which is Grow Native,
Right.
Bella Vista, that we're trying to beautify Bella Vista with native plants. So they have a website coming up. It's grownativebellavista.com. So there's going to be some information on that website about how to make one of these houses.
Right.
You can make them.
Also, I need to mention, a lot of people might be asking, where do I buy native plants?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer to that right now, the closest is White River Nursery on the south side of Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
White River Nursery specializes in native trees and shrubs.
Yeah, and they're a good source,
Mm-hmm.
very good. So, anyway, I think that's about it for today. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. And you'll join us next month. And
Yeah.
until then, don't forget to stop and smell the roses.
Right.